Hi guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? I'm just running some bed rant. Yeah, happy Easter. It's Easter. I was doing a talk. I was doing a video. I was paraphrasing for how I feel about 3rd Nephi 13, and my phone just died. Right, and that's why the phone went off, and I didn't take it up again. But I did want to say happy Easter, and I did. And before I talk about any more Easter stuff, I want to say that I intentionally went down an emotional turn, not down, but took an emotional turn in my music on purpose, because I noticed that when I did In My Dreams by our Speedwagon, I got response, and I think that's the genuineness of it, the emotion of it. So I did a trilogy. I don't call it that. I didn't specify that, but I did Mr. Roboto by Styx, which is not really a tearjerker, but it gets intense. It's emotional. It's about robotics and the future, and about this dude that's like half robot, half man or something. And then I went a little more emotional than that and did More Than a Feeling by Boston, and that's slightly emotional. It's got a pretty little classical thing in there, so as the solo. And before I go to the next one, I took a lot of care with that solo. First of all, I didn't learn it by heart, so I would not fail at playing the notes of it and just do it by rote. Instead I learned the notes as what they sound like. I just got the pitches in my head. Didn't really think too much about the fingerings. I just got the dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's all I really got out of. I mean, that's all as far as the notes. That's basically my approach. I just got the melody in my head and I just play it myself. I don't really. That's how I do Star Spangled Banner, by the way, too. That's why I goof on it a lot of the time, because I never really learned it perfectly note for note. I just sing with the guitar. I just play the notes as they sound and try to get it right each time. I have never memorized the notes. But in this case, with More Than a Feeling solo, not only did I take that approach, but I made a chordal harmony to myself underneath the solo, so I would know what the chords were, so I wouldn't just be playing notes randomly. I would know the harmony underneath them. And I almost wanted to extend the song and do more with that, but I realized it'd be breaking protocol. I wouldn't be playing the song anymore, and that would be a no-no. But just while we're talking about it, the song's in D major, the same key as Ode to Joy by Beethoven. Dun, 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 you know that song that's on Die Hard. But I got the chords behind it, not only in my head, but learned them. So when I play the solo, I have the chords in my head and I know what the chords are. I can play them on guitar. So while we're here, let's drift into a musical lesson about it. It's in D major, as opposed to the song, which is mainly G major. So let's just shift up a sharp, I think. Yeah, because G sharp has 1 sharp and D sharp. G sharp has 1 sharp, D sharp has 2 sharps. So it's up a sharp for the solo. And I think D major is the brightest key. And G minor is the darkest key, by the way. I've said that before, in my opinion. It's D major first, that's the tonic. Then it goes to G major, that's up a fourth. That's the fourth, that's the subdominant. Then it goes back to D major, that's the tonic. Then it goes to A major, which is the dominant. And then it goes to D major again. And then it goes to B minor, then D major, and then a quick shift to E minor, A major, and then you can start it over again. So it's actually the numbers are, it's 1, what do they call them, Roman numerals? It's 1 to 4 to 1 to 5 to 1 to 6 to 1 to 2 minor. Oh, I did that wrong. Okay, I slightly wrong. It's 1 to 4 to 1 to 5 to 1 to 6 minor. Don't just say 6 minor to 1 to 2 minor to 5 major. That's the whole thing. You can't just say 6. If if you say 6, you mean 6 major, and it's 6 minor. So it's 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6 minor, 1, 2 minor, 5. And name-wise, it's dominant to subdominant. No, it's not. Tonic to subdominant to tonic to dominant to tonic to submediant to tonic to supertonic to dominant. And as far as names of cadences, I think 1 to 4 to 1 is a plagal cadence. Then 1 to 5 to 1 is a authentic cadence. 1 to 6 minor to 1 is a deceptive cadence. And then the 2 minor to 5 is just a jazz. 2-5-1 is the 3 main major chords in jazz. Usually 2 minor 7, 5 dominant 7, and then 1 major 7, 2-5-1. But sometimes he's used in classical music too, like Eric Johnson uses it in Cliffs to Dover, even though his is mainly a classical thing, not a jazz thing. He does a thing where he's in G major, but he plays A minor, which is the 2, then D major, which is the 5, and then he plays the G major, which is the 1, and then he plays A minor is the 2 minor, then D major is the 5 major, or just 5. G is the 1, and then the E minor is the 6 minor. So he's doing a 2-5-1, 2 minor 5 1 6 minor. So that's similar to jazz, but not totally completely. Plus he's only using triads, and jazz usually makes some minor 7s, dominant 7s, or major 7s, as opposed to major triads or minor triads. Jazz makes has 4-note chords usually that have 3 different versions in perfectness: the major 7th, minor 7th, and dominant 7th. Whereas the triads in perfectness have only 2 forms, major and minor. But perfect, I mean, it has a perfect 5th. Okay. Then after all that spiel, then I did the best I can do. Really, is "Castles Made of Sand" by the Jimi Hendrix Experience, which is one of the most emotional songs ever written to me. I almost lost it when I played it when I did my take, but I didn't. I kept it together, and hope you guys enjoy that. If I that may be the most complete thing I've ever done on my YouTube channel. It had a solo that had some technique, but yet feel. It had emotion. It had technical intricacy with the rhythm playing. It had vocals, and it had words. Well, words usually have vocals, but not always. It can just be la 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 la. I mean, vocals usually have words, but not always. So plus it went back and forth between clean and distortion, which is challenging, but I like to do that. I'm getting better at it, actually. Just hit a button right. No big deal. NBD. So I hope you guys enjoyed that trilogy. I'm not always going to do that because, first of all, there's nowhere else to go. Because to me, Castles Made of Sand is the most emotional, complete work of music in rock, maybe, that there is. Maybe Stairway to Heaven is on the same level, but it's been heard so much. Stairway to Heaven's been heard so much that nobody cares anymore. But Castles Made of Sand, not so much. Now back to the Easter thing. I said it sounded like I would, and I meant, and I am. So I got cut off. My phone just died because it was right after a walk, and my phone didn't have much charge left. Ergo, it died. I just want to say, I was thinking about what I was saying about 3 Nephi 13 and what I say about Jesus hanging on the cross, and I had an insight that maybe I thought I should share with you. Would share with you guys. There's a connection between the two things I talked about: Jesus hanging on the cross and not calling 10,000 angels to take him down and show those assholes who he was. There's that. But there's also what I was saying about not doing things to show other people, like the alms for the poor. Don't do that just to impress people. Or the praying, don't pray to impress others. Or fasting, don't fast so you can appear to fast. And then I kind of connected the two just about an hour ago and realized maybe there's a connection between those, and that maybe what kept him on the cross wasn't just his ability to endure the pain. It wasn't just his ability to endure the pain, because he already decided that, at Gethsemane. He decided, thy will, not mine, be done, means he's already going to endure it. He knew he could take the pain. It wasn't that anymore. It was pride. It was, do I show these assholes who I am and what the fuck I can do? That was another layout that he still had to decide on the cross. Even Gethsemane couldn't decide that yet. But he had to decide that on the cross. And I decided that maybe the way he decided that, the way he decided to stay on the cross was because he had to do with the fact that he knew he could call the angels and take himself down. He didn't have to prove it to these people. He knew before God, his Father, that he could do that. He didn't have to prove it because he knew he could do it. And God knew he could do it. And God knew he was deliberately not doing it. And he got credit with God. He didn't care or have to impress those people by showing what he could do, because he already knew he could do it. And he knew his Father knew he could do it. So it was secondary to him to impress these people. And that's the final thing I think that kept him on the cross is the unnecessariness, yeah, of impressing these people. I have that too sometimes. I wasn't going to say anything, but I had some haters yesterday started cursing at me on my walk. I cursed right back. I'm not afraid of these punks. I cursed right back at them. Even said, bring it on, with some cursing. Kept walking. And I was ready, man. You want to come at me? Fine, let's do this. They didn't. But at the same time, I don't seek violence. So what I did, instead of doing my normal route, which would have led me right by them, and I'm almost sure something would have happened there, violence-wise, one way or the other, I turned the other way. Went all the way around town and did a whole loop around to get home another way, so I wouldn't have to face, because I didn't have to prove that let's see who can do what with these guys. I already knew what I can do, and I didn't have to prove it. In fact, I seek to avoid it, and I did. It wasn't out of fear. If it would have been just that, I said, let's do this. I'm ready to die anytime anyway, but it wasn't time, and it wasn't the place, it wasn't the thing, and it wasn't over this that I should die or kill somebody. Just isn't. I chose to just to keep the peace and turn the other way. And then talked to I got a lot of love along the way. Thank you guys for loving me in that journey. I got lots of encouragement. People can sense, I think, when I got my head down or something. I got a lot of encouragement and love from you guys, my fans. Thank you. But then I met one of my friends that I see on the street sometimes. He's not homeless, but he's kind of just more of he's on the street more than me, because he's always riding his bike and he hangs out outside more than I do. Whereas I have a home I come into most of the time, unless I'm walking or someone's taking me somewhere. And I told him, I don't want to get into it too much, but my dad's already trained me for shit like this. And it's not the time. It's totally inappropriate to lay that out. I laid it out to my friend, though. Some of the things my dad taught me. I'm not going to say them right now because it's just vulgar. But but violence is vulgar. And if you want to win, here's how to do it. End of story. And that was totally not the time or the place for this. So I just took me an hour to get back just where I started. To get like 15 minutes away from where I met them took me an hour. And then I had to walk home a different way, which is slightly longer, but whatever. I avoided the violence. Anyway, love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.